I got started as an artist by growing up in very many different places. I became very eclectic that way, and at first I was in sports, found out I hated sports, and then I got in trouble in high school and middle school for drawing on people with a Sharpie. So it was always just doodling to me. It was never art until I graduated and came here that I realized I had a real passion for it, and it was the only thing I really loved to do. So I knew I was an artist because I needed to be one. I work in so many different mediums. I work in soft pastels, I work with airbrush, I work with pen, I work in printmaking, I work in screen printing. When I was younger, I got so upset that I wasn't just good at one thing, because I wanted to be exceptionally good at one thing, and then I felt like I'd be good. But I was pretty good at every little thing. I could create what I needed to. I could create something that I was proud of out of whatever material I had. I usually just focus on creating things that I'm emotionally drawn to. I create a lot of animals because, like I said, I was alone a lot, and in a rodeo family, I went and played and sang with the horses and the cows. And then as I got older, I just always had a kinship with animals, and I realized that. So when I got into school, they were the first thing that I loved to draw. Soft pastels I consider to be my best medium because I create some of my best work with it. Create realistic stuff and focus on the coloring and the way the body forms and the way the fur lays over the body beneath it. It's very fun to be so in-depth because I use my fingers for the soft pastels, so I'm really interacting with the art in a way that I can't really in others. We are in the gallery at the University of Minnesota-Morris, and this here is the senior show that happens once a year, every year at the end of the year. And this year was my turn, and I have about 10 pieces in the show. Most of it is 2D work, except for I have mannequin hands that I Sharpied on, which are pretty popular. If you look right behind me, I have 2 mannequins that were airbrushed. And one of them they're titled Precious, like precious stone, and precious metal, because I have precious stone as a diamond, and then precious metal as gold. And it's about how the woman's body is precious, no matter what shape. Even though these are highly idealized forms, I would have loved to get, if I had money and time, I would have loved to get actual, more realistic bodies. But it was more about the message of that it doesn't matter what shape or size the body, a female body is precious and it needs to be admired. Upstairs I have 4 mannequin hands, and they're about expectations and people's immediate reactions to tattoos on a person's body. There's 2 lighter hands and there's 2 darker hands, and the lighter hands are titled I'll Pray For You, and the darker hands are titled Pray For Yourself. And it's a story on how people perceive you just based on your tattoos and how they immediately judge you just on your outward appearance. And it's fun to play with the idea of what you automatically expect and what it's really not. And I got the inspiration to do my mannequin hands by well, I got in trouble so often as a kid for drawing on people. I get in trouble from parents for drawing on other kids' clothes. They let me, by the way. And then as I got in high school, I just Sharpie all over people's hands when I didn't want to pay attention in class. So I figured it would be nice to kind of bring that back to my senior graduation. I felt like it'd be a nice way to tie it all up. These 4 years at the University of Minnesota Morris have taught me so much, more than the $30,000 student loan really amounts to, but it really let me try a bit of everything, try all the mediums, and then learn from professionals about why some piece isn't working or why it is working. And this kind of education, even though in high school, before I graduated high school, I was offered to go work as a tattoo apprentice in Colorado from a friend of a friend, but I turned it down because I knew I needed my education. I wanted to be a better artist. I wanted to understand how art works, how the world works with art, and that's really what it did. Because I had to be alone most of my life and learn how to survive on my own, I felt like it gave me a greater understanding of how harsh the world can be. And from that, art was my therapy. I created because it helped me deal with my own inner demons, and it's very important to me, and I feel like everyone should create art just because of its therapeutic properties. It helps you learn to enjoy what you have and live in the moment rather than always planning ahead. And as an artist, I'm a very live in the moment person. I create what I feel drawn to in the moment. I don't make long plans. I live it day by day, and I feel like for an artist, it's important to hear your own voice. And in order to hear your own voice, you have to be by yourself and listen to yourself.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropy, Mark and Margaret Yackel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org.